Here is the 2024 Mercedes-Benz E350 4Matic sedan in silver metallic over black leather. This is completely refreshed. Inside, you're getting more leg headroom, more cargo capacity. Is this going to be better than the prior gen? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons, the problem that I have with the new E-Class and comparable rivals. Starting with the front fascia, it's going to be similar to the EQ sedan. It's going to have the flat grille, the chrome surrounding it, the gloss black highlighting it because we have the night package that integrates into the newly designed LED headlights and daytime runnings, and you can option digital lights with HD system that has more than 1 million pixels per headlamp, using data from the cameras, the sensors, the navigation system to calculate the brightness value for each individual pixel, and that does it in near real time. Going into the gloss black for the side air pocket and in the center, giving a more broad stance, flaring out the fenders, giving us two different engine options. You have a 2.0 liter, which is what we're showcasing here, all of which will have the 48 volt mild hybrid technology that features a starter generator. This integrated electric motor system assists the combustion engine with up to 23 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque at low engine speeds. And that gives us the 2.0 liter inline four-cylinder turbocharged, producing 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9G Tronic automatic transmission, achieving 24 mpgs for the city, 35 mpgs for the highway. We also have rear active steering, which when you're under 37 miles per hour, the rear wheels will turn the opposite direction as the front, so it'll help if you're moving in and out of a tight position. When you're going over that speed, it will go the same direction as the tire, so that way you'll get a near 50-50 weight distribution, and it will do that at a 2.5 degree. Wheel sizes will go as low as a 19-inch. We have these upgraded 20-inch AMG multi-spoke wheels. The side skirt will get the gloss black as well as all the window housing and the mirror caps, which gives that dynamic profile. So you might want to tick the box for the AMG night package, so that way it highlights all those areas that would be normally chrome. The door handles will stay flush in the door, and they will expand out whenever you approach the vehicle or you just simply touch the button, going against comparable rivals like the new BMW 5 Series. It's going to get a lot of components shared from the 7 Series, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. You're going to have some similarities of the S-Class, but it's going to mimic more of the EQ sedans here. But then when you're thinking about pricing, even if you option the E450, you're still getting a savings opposed to the BMW. And as for Audi, performance-wise, it's going to be very similar. This is not going to be the fastest in class. Optional airmatic suspension with air springs and adaptive ADS. Damper characteristics will automatically control for each individual wheel and separately during rebound and compression. But because of that 4Matic air suspension, the vehicle level is automatically lowered by 0.6 inches to reduce air resistance and fuel consumption from a speed of 74 miles per hour in the comfort driving mode. But just remember, the more that you tick the box for options, the less that you're getting as a deal. It starts becoming in the same territory as BMW and Audi. The rear will get the redesigned 3-point badges for the LED taillights, the chrome bar wrapping around the top, and on the lower you'll get the fake exhaust outlets, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree reverse camera. The exterior design, I think they did a fabulous job giving us the performance that we need, plus making it look a little bit more attractive than the S-Class, because you want to have a little bit of a performance look, but yet you still want elegance, giving a timeless piece for the new E-Class. Power liftgate going into 12.7 cubic feet of storage, starting with bag holders on both sides. You get a storage nook, more bag holders here, and you can open up to give you more cargo capacity, and you split fold the rear bench in the back here, and it'll keep it to a near flat floor. We need to go inside, start up the new E-Class so you can hear that exhaust note. Black leather front seats, heated, ventilated, power seat adjustment, in memory for the front occupants. Headroom and leg room. It's going to be a lot more luxurious and cleaned up. The whole vehicle is refreshed. Ambient lighting that's going to surround from the back, wrapping around the whole dash and both of the door pockets. I like that you're getting a touch of S-Class, the way it kind of slopes into the door panel. Two 12.3 information displays, one for the passenger because we have the MBUX Superscreen, and one for the driver gauge cluster. These two are going to be touch to ride with a standard 14.4-inch center multimedia. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, and on both screens you can do the same thing. And you have AI with, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Turn up the climate control."
Okay, I'll increase the temperature to 74 degrees.
Put it into reverse, and we have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. And as you're noticing, this screen will just go into a screensaver mode. So you have different camera angles. You can also rotate it by using your finger, and you can pull it out. So that way you can see every single object all around the vehicle. Standard dual climate control settings with the natural wood inlays. The ambient lighting yet comes into play, opening up into a wireless charging pad. Push here, and now you have two cup holders where you can open this and you'll have a little bit more storage capacity with USB ports. And the key fob for the new E-Class. It's going to be a little bit more sporty, opens up into another USB port and a medium-sized storage pocket, leather-wrapped steering wheel. It's multi-function. I like the gloss black that goes into it. And this is going to be derived for the driver gauge cluster, which it's touch sensitive, and you can change by going up and down. So if you want to go into navigation, you can change the way the cluster design is by simply just pushing up. And this side here will be for the center infotainment screen with the auto-dimming rear view mirror and two moon roofs, which will be opened by just sliding your finger across. The back one opening up just like the BMW. Door panel and dash gets the Burmaster 15 speakers. You can upgrade to a 17 speaker, and it's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be, with the aluminum inlays and a medium-sized storage pocket. For the back seats, headroom and leg room. Storage behind both of the front seats, and I like how it goes more inward, so it gives a little bit more knee space. Air vents with a storage pocket, and it's going to mimic the same design as the front air vent setup. Armrest, pin holder, cup holders. Door panel, it's going to get the ambient lighting. You're going to get the piano black. And we have child lock.
No results found.
So we can't get out of the car. With the aluminum mesh inlays and about the same size storage pocket that's found in the front. Sliding into the center.
The central locking can't be operated using voice control.
It just doesn't want to shut up. Sliding into the center, the feet space is going to be shared a little bit. This is a huge hump, so you can't really do nothing there. Butt and leg space is not too bad, and it has a similar stance as a S-Class. It's just not going to be as wide. Headroom, though, is actually really good, even though you sit up a little higher. 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. We just have it in regular mode right now just to see how she drives. It stays smooth, and I mean, when you have upgraded wheels, because all the new vehicles are wanting to have 21-inch wheel designs, it usually makes the vehicle have a lot more bumps for the interior. The seat cushions are good, and the butt area is a little bit more wide. It's not as much as an S-Class, which I kind of wish they went that route, because this is above the CLE class and it seems to be about the same size in the butt area for the seat. Visibility is good. The door panels are raised, so it kind of gives you a sporty drive to the vehicle, even though this is more for an executive drive. Sound deadening is pretty good. And when you go into the E-Class, you're wanting to have something similar to an S-Class, and I feel like they've nailed it, especially if you add this MBUX Superscreen that covers up the whole dash nearly. Now, it's not like the Hyperscreen, which is 56 inches long, but it's enough. And the fact that they're paying attention to little detail like the air vents in the rear mimicking the front dashboard layout, or the ambient lighting that literally circles around the whole cabin, I think
in order to use this service,
but the AI, as you see, is a little bit of a headache. It's good in the sense that it works, but it works a little bit too much. We're gonna take it up on the interstate, so now we can hear that sound detonate. It's not as quiet as I was expecting it to be. The S-Class will still be superior in that. But when you go into the Audis, I feel that's going to be the most quiet in class for the vehicles, opposed to the A7, A6, or A5. But when you go into the A8, it's a little bit more so than the S-Class. That's gonna take me to some pros and cons, starting off with the pros. It's a complete refresh from the exterior to the interior. Usually, when vehicles go this route, they're just changing aesthetics. Mercedes went above and beyond, even improving the technology with the engine so you could get better MPGs. Coming inside, giving us the latest MBUX technology with this super screen, adding the interior camera, giving us plenty of room for the back seat occupants.
In order to use this function.
But on the cons, you are lacking in storage nooks found throughout. Even the center cluster, they could have done a little bit better considering the exterior is mimicking the EQ sedans. Another con to me is this should be mimicking more of the S-Class or the EQ in the interior. But most of the design is kind of a carryover from the C-Class and the CLE. But going into rival perspective, this is not going to be the best in horsepower or torque in class. And when you're getting a full refresh, I would have liked to see that here, especially when it comes to the performance, because this is going to be one of the least in that with a 0 to 60 number, according to Mercedes-Benz. But for an executive and everyday drive, you're gonna get a nice blend. MPGs isn't bad either. Plus, there's not necessarily that much turbo lag in the vehicle because you have a lot going on underneath the hood to make it a little bit more smooth and effortless, especially for the auto start stop. In most cases, you won't even know when the vehicle is engaged or not. Optioning the Airmatic suspension will definitely change the whole game, but you don't necessarily have to option it. It's still a smooth suspension. But on a con, with all these screens, you're gonna have a lot of fingerprints throughout. But the big problem that I have is there's just a lot of technology that's implemented in this new generation that makes the longevity questionable when it comes to the E-Class. Because typically, if you look at forums, usually people, they'll hit 100, 200,000 miles, not too many issues. You might even throw a check engine light, but they'll still drive smooth and do exactly what they're meant to do. But this, underneath the hood, with all that technology that I was talking about on the exterior, and all the technology, if you add the digital lighting, plus the interior of how much electronics that you have, it's just a lot. And sadly, vehicles are going this route to full technology, but then if you think for an accident purpose, I mean, they're gonna total out the car because it's gonna cost way too much money to replace some of these components. You're gonna have the same similarity when you're going into the new BMW. As for Audi, they haven't necessarily went that full route, but let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mercedes-Benz of Clearwater for giving us this 2024 Mercedes-Benz E350 sedan for our car review.